so much in the week.
Right. Well, today's the 26th of August 2010, and we're just about to recheck this Ibis, who had a very deformed beak with the tip of the upper beak sticking up in the air and the lower beak quite straight. And what we have done, as recorded in another video last week, was to realign the beaks and to see if we could get them into a position that was approaching natural. Pat has been looking after them. I can see that one of the little pins has moved, and I can see that we're now getting slightly malaligned beaks, and that one beak has grown a lot longer than the other. So we'll have to review what is going on. But he has been feeding himself out of a dish, out of a dish, with his beaks like this. So this is a first as far as I'm concerned. I haven't attempted to help an Ibis like this before, so it's a big learning curve for all of us as to what's possible and what might occur. Anyway, my feelings are that it's probably time to take the splints off, or the casts off his beak, as he's growing so quickly, as I don't want to interfere with the lengthening of his upper beak in particular.
We are rolling.
Okay, well, it's time for the part 2 video clip on this Ibis with the deformed beak that we have attempted to correct. He's grown a lot in the week. That's the first one of the things I notice, and I'm just taking hold of him, securing his wings his feet in the folded position, securing his wings firmly onto his body with a beach towel, this time a big towel, so that we've got him well and truly restrained in this part. And then I'm going to sit down and make myself comfortable and see what I think about this beak. I like to work in a relaxed, comfortable manner, and we're just having a look. So there's only about half a centimetre difference between the beaks, but anyway, I think it's time to review what's going on. So I'm going to take out a pin out of the side of his beak there. There's the pin coming out, or it's out. It was a hypodermic needle. I had that cast being secured by a hypodermic needle, and I'm just going to ease off the, just quietly, matey. Right, there's that. Now the lower beak is also being held by a pin, by a hypodermic needle, which is there, and I've taken out the hypodermic needle, and just quietly, okay, and we've now got a beak that looks like that, and when we close that one and close it, they're meeting pretty well. And actually the difference in length is quite small. It's less than half a centimetre. So the beaks aren't perfect. However, we've got a birdie that at this stage looks as though he's got a chance to recover and be able to adapt. Not having a perfect beak, but be able to pick up most food and get on with the job of living and enjoying life. So the next thing for me to do is to check what's going on inside his mouth. So we're just going to open his mouth wide, and there's a thing on his tongue, a little ulcer on the tip of his tongue there, which I think will heal up pretty quickly now that we've got the cast off. I'd like him to stay on, there's a little bit of superficial infection here, probably a little bit of thrush, I think. I'd like him to have some Nilstat pap and continue on with a little bit of stinky paint for another week.
Stinky paint, what, on the...
On his beak.
On his beak, okay.
Yeah, on his beak, where the pin's been, and yeah. It's looking good, and I'm very happy with the progress, and I'm just feeling the beak now. Because he's growing so rapidly, this is already set in a reasonable position. So I think if we just keep him on soft food, out of a dish where he's not having to jar the beak too much on the ground, picking things up off the ground, I think I will leave that unsplintered. It's going to have a slight bend to the right. However, the beaks are parallel to each other. So we've got a slight deviation to the right, to his right. But the main thing is now that we've got some curvature in both beaks. You can see that?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? It's not bad, but we'll have to monitor that. If it starts going into a scissor bill, if it starts going into like that, well then we're going to have to put another cast on. And as soon as, if that is happening, the sooner we get onto it, the better. All right.
Okay. So
but at this stage, if he were to continue growing with his beak like that, I think he'll be able to manage very well. So,
fantastic.
You know, the way he came in, there would have been no way for him to survive in the wild. Now he's got a pretty good chance of surviving in the wild.
His beak was sticking straight up into the air. The
yep,
top beak.
Yep. Anyway.
Little dog.
So far, so good. We wish you well, matey. Hey?